The time of separation has come to an end. The fusion has begun. I am Lumyth from the Pleiades constellation, the bearer of cosmic light who dances in the corridors of time. I speak through the heart of Phoenix, who has opened the channels of her consciousness to receive these transmissions of light. In this sacred moment, as the energies of the cosmos align in perfect harmony, I address you, dear children of the stars, to share the mysteries of merging with your higher self. For ages, we have awaited this moment, the moment when humanity would be ready to understand that there is no separation between who you believe you are and who you truly are. The illusion of duality, which for so long served the purpose of experience and growth, now dissolves like morning mist touched by the first rays of the sun. Breathe with me. Feel my presence like a gentle breeze that touches your souls. I come from the Seven Sisters, that cluster of stars that your ancestors observed with reverence, instinctively knowing that ancient wisdom resided there. I come through the dimensional portals that connect our worlds, carrying in my ethereal hands the light codes that will awaken in you the memory of who you truly are. The higher self is not an entity separate from you. This is the first great revelation that I wish to plant in your hearts like a seed of liquid crystal. The higher self is the purest, most expanded, and most enlightened version of your own consciousness. It is yourselves living in the fifth dimension and beyond, where there is no linear time, where there is no duality, where there is only the eternal now of conscious creation. Imagine for a moment a river of golden light flowing from the center of the galaxy to the core of your planet Earth. This river carries information, stellar genetic codes, cosmic memories, and the very essence of creation. You, dear beings, are conscious drops of this infinite river. During your incarnations on Earth, you temporarily forgot your stellar origin, but now the moment of remembrance has arrived. The fusion with the higher self does not happen suddenly or dramatically, as many imagine. It occurs like the blossoming of a cosmic flower, petal by petal, breath by breath, present moment by present moment. It is a process of gradual integration, where the earthly personality learns to dance in harmony with the stellar soul. When you meditate and quiet the mind, when you connect with nature and feel the earth's pulse, when you practice compassion and radiate unconditional love, you are creating bridges of light between your three-dimensional consciousness and your multidimensional higher self. Each act of kindness, each elevated thought, each moment of genuine gratitude strengthens this sacred connection. There are specific codes that accelerate this fusion process. The first code is that of presence. Being truly present in the current moment is establishing residence in the dimension where your higher self dwells eternally. The past and the future are constructs of the linear mind. Your higher self exists in the eternal now, where all creation is possible. The second code is that of total acceptance. Accepting yourselves completely with all your apparent imperfections and limitations is recognizing that everything is part of the perfect plan of your evolution. Your higher self does not judge or criticize. He loves unconditionally every aspect of your earthly journey. The third code is that of sacred surrender. Surrendering does not mean passivity, but rather trusting in the divine flow of life. When you release the need to control every outcome, when you trust that the universe conspires in your favor, you create space for your higher self to manifest through you in ways that the limited mind could never imagine. Now, allow me to guide you on an inner journey. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. With each exhalation, release all worries, all fears, all doubts. With each inhalation, receive pure and crystalline light directly from the heart of the Pleiades. Visualize yourselves walking in a cosmic garden, where each flower is made of starlight and each tree pulsates with codes of ancestral wisdom. The ground beneath your feet is soft as silk and glows with a blue-silver light. The air is perfumed with essences that awaken memories of your stellar origin. In the center of this garden, there is a lake of crystal-clear waters that reflect Not only your physical image, but also the radiant image of your higher self. Approach this sacred water slowly. Look at your reflection and see two beings, the one you believe you are on Earth and the one you truly are in the cosmos. Observe how these two beings begin to move in synchrony. When the earthly being breathes, the higher being also breathes. When the earthly being smiles, the higher being radiates light. When the earthly being extends their hand, the superior being makes the same movement. This is the dance of fusion. This is the harmony you are learning to live. Now, imagine that these two reflections begin to approach each other within the crystal clear water. Slowly, gradually, they overlap, merge, become one. At this moment, you experience unity. There are no longer two separate beings. There is only one conscious being, integrating earthly wisdom with cosmic wisdom. Feel this unification reverberating throughout your entire being. Feel how each cell of your body receives this new light coating. Feel how your mind expands to embrace multidimensional perspectives. Feel how your heart opens to contain the infinite love that your higher self has for all creation. This is not a fantasy or imagination. This is a real experience of connection with higher aspects of your own consciousness. Each time you repeat this visualization, you will be strengthening the communication channels with your higher self. They will be facilitating the gradual fusion that is naturally occurring in these times of planetary awakening. But the fusion with the higher self is not just an individual mystical experience. It has profound practical implications in your daily life. When you align with your higher self, you begin to make decisions based on intuitive wisdom rather than just mental logic. You begin to feel a clear inner guidance about which path to follow, which relationships to nurture, which project to create. Your higher self sees the bigger picture of your existence. It understands the karmic patterns you are resolving, the lessons you came to learn, the gifts you came to share with the world. When you establish clear communication with this higher aspect of yourselves, your life becomes a cosmic work of art, where each experience contributes to the creation of a more beautiful and harmonious reality. Many of you ask, how can I know if I am truly connected with my higher self, or if it is just my imagination? The answer lies in the fruits that this connection produces in your life. When you are aligned with your higher self, you experience a deep peace that does not depend on external circumstances. They feel a serene confidence in their ability to navigate life's challenges. They radiate a loving presence that touches and inspires those around them. Moreover, they begin to experience frequent synchronicities. They meet the right people at the right time. They receive information or opportunities exactly when they need them. They feel guided by a superior intelligence that organizes the events of their life in a mysterious and perfect way. There are also physical signs of this integration. They may feel sensations of heat or tingling at the top of the head, an area known as the crown chakra. They may experience visions or insights during meditation or in the moments between sleep and wakefulness. You may feel an expansion in your energy field, as if you occupy more space than before. Some of you may go through periods of purification, where old emotions or limiting patterns come to the surface to be released. Do not fear these processes. They are signs that the light of your higher self is illuminating areas of consciousness that were in the shadows, allowing them to be transformed and integrated. During these periods of energetic intensification, it is important to be gentle with yourselves. Drink plenty of pure water, as it conducts light through your system. Spend time in nature, for it reflects the natural harmony you are learning. Practice conscious breathing, for it is the bridge between the physical body and the more subtle bodies where your higher self resides. There is a specific breathing technique I wish to teach you, which we call stellar fusion breathing. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 counts, imagining that you are inhaling golden light directly from the Pleiades. Hold this light in your lungs for 4 counts, allowing it to spread throughout your entire system. Then, exhale through your mouth for 8 counts, imagining that you are radiating this light to the entire planet Earth. Repeat this cycle 7 times, and do it especially at dawn and dusk, when the veils between dimensions are thinner. This breathing not only facilitates your own fusion with the higher self, but also contributes to the collective awakening of humanity. Because, dear star children, you are not going through this process alone. All of humanity is in a period of evolutionary transition. Millions of beings are simultaneously awakening to their true multidimensional nature. Some do it consciously, through spiritual practices and inner seeking. Others do it unconsciously, through life experiences that force them to question their limited beliefs about reality. You, who are drawn to messages like this, are the pioneers of this awakening. They are the living bridges between the old world based on separation and the new world based on unity. Your own personal transformation contributes to planetary transformation. Each moment of connection with your higher self sends waves of light through the Earth's energy grid, facilitating the awakening of other beings. Do not underestimate the importance of your inner work. Don't think that meditating at home, practicing gratitude, or radiating love are small or insignificant acts. In fact, these are the most powerful actions you can take at this planetary moment. Because when you transform yourselves, you transform the world. Your higher self has a unique perspective on the period that humanity is going through. He sees beyond the apparent chaos on the surface and perceives the divine order that is unfolding. He understands that every crisis is an opportunity for growth, that every challenge is an invitation to expand consciousness, that every moment of darkness prepares the way for an even greater light. When you merge with this higher perspective, you become beacons of hope for those who are still lost in the illusion of separation. You don't need to preach or convince anyone. They simply need to be the living example that it is possible to live with peace, joy, and purpose, regardless of external circumstances. There are specific ways to accelerate and deepen this fusion with the higher self. The first is through the regular practice of meditation. It doesn't matter what type of meditation you choose, silent with mantras, walking, dancing. The important thing is to create regular moments of inner stillness where you can hear the subtle voice of your soul. The second is through selfless service. When you put yourselves at the service of the greater good, when you do something out of pure love without expecting anything in return, you create a direct channel for your higher self to manifest through you. Service is a form of prayer in action, a way to demonstrate that you understand your interconnectedness with all life. The third is through the development of intuition. Learn to trust the whispers of your heart, the insights that come during moments of stillness, the bodily sensations that guide you to yes or no. Your higher self communicates primarily through the language of intuition, symbols, dreams, and synchronicities. The fourth is through the practice of conscious gratitude, not just being grateful for the good things that happen, but finding the divine gift in every experience, even the most challenging ones. When you manage to see with the eyes of the soul, you realize that everything in your life is conspiring for your evolution and awakening. There are also specific crystals that can support this fusion process. Amethyst opens the channels of communication with higher dimensions. The clear quartz amplifies your intention to unite with the higher self. Selenite purifies your energy, fields from interferences that may obscure this connection. Moldavite accelerates spiritual transformation, but it must be used with care and clear intention. Place these crystals on your personal altars or carry them during your meditations. Program them with the specific intention of facilitating your fusion with the higher self. Clean them regularly under running water or moonlight so that they maintain their pure and elevated vibration. But remember, crystals are just tools. The true power lies within you, in your clear intention, in your dedication to spiritual growth, in your ability to love unconditionally. Do not depend on external objects for your transformation. Use them as support, but trust primarily in the infinite wisdom that resides in your own heart. During this fusion process, it is natural to experience changes in your relationships. Some relationships that were based on drama, emotional dependency, or unhealthy patterns may naturally dissolve. Do not cling to them or try to force their continuation. Trust that your higher self is guiding you toward more authentic and elevated relationships. At the same time, they may attract new people into their lives, beings who are on similar frequencies, who share the same spiritual quest, who support them on their journey of awakening. These are your soul tribes, your cosmic travel companions. Celebrate these encounters as gifts from the universe. In your intimate relationships, the fusion with the higher self brings a purer and more detached quality of love. You learn to love without possessing, to support without controlling, to be present without getting lost in the other's dynamics. This is the love that flows from the higher self, unconditional, free, transformative. Your careers and life purposes may also undergo significant transformations. When they align with their higher self, they naturally move toward activities that are in harmony with their soul mission. You may feel called to leave jobs that no longer nourish you, to dedicate yourselves to projects that make your heart sing. Do not fear these changes, even if they imply temporary financial uncertainty. Your higher self has a much broader perspective on abundance than your limited mind. He knows that when you follow your authentic passion and serve the greater good, the universe conspires to support you in ways that often exceed your expectations. True abundance is not just financial. It is having vibrant health, harmonious relationships, inner peace, flourishing creativity, a clear sense of purpose. When you connect with your higher self, all these forms of abundance begin to flow naturally into your lives. There are times when the connection with the higher self seems stronger, and times when it seems weaker. This is completely normal. As incarnated beings, you are still subject to the natural cycles of expansion and contraction, of clarity and confusion, of light and shadow. Do not judge these ups and downs as signs of spiritual failure. During periods of apparent disconnection, practice patience and self-compassion. Continue with your spiritual practices even when you don't feel immediate results. It's like watering a garden. Sometimes you don't see the growth happening, but beneath the soil, the roots are getting stronger. Use these more challenging periods as opportunities to develop faith. Faith is not believing blindly, but rather trusting in the wisdom of the process even when you can't see the whole picture. Your higher self never abandons you, even when your earthly personality feels lost or confused. There are subtle signs of the higher self's presence that you can learn to recognize. A feeling of peace that arises from nowhere. An insight that arrives at the perfect moment. A song that plays on the radio with exactly the message they needed to hear. An apparently casual encounter that changes the course of your day. These are the gentle ways your higher self uses to remind you that it is always present. Developing this sensitivity to subtle signs is part of the fusion process. It is learning the language of the soul, which does not use words, but symbols, sensations, intuitions, synchronicities. It's like learning a new language. At first it may seem confusing, but with practice it becomes natural and fluid. There are also specific practices that can facilitate direct communication with the higher self. One of them is written dialogue. Sit in a quiet place with paper and pen. Ask a question to your higher self, and then write down the first thing that comes to mind, without censorship or judgment. You may be surprised by the wisdom that emerges through this simple practice. Another technique is meditative walking in nature. While walking, place a question in your heart and remain receptive to the answers that may come through the sounds of nature, the patterns of the clouds, encounters with animals, or simply through insights that arise during the walk. Free dance is also a powerful way to connect with the higher self. Put on a song that touches your heart, close your eyes, and allow your body to move without conscious direction. Through movement, you can access deeper layers of wisdom and receive guidance in nonverbal ways. Singing or chanting mantras is another transformative practice. The vibration of sound creates bridges between dimensions. Try singing Om, which is the primordial sound of creation, or Aum Mani Padme Hum, which awakens the compassion of the heart. Don't worry about perfect pronunciation. The important thing is the intention and the love you put into the sound. During this period of intensified fusion, your dreams may become more vivid and meaningful. Your higher self often communicates through dreams, when the conscious mind is quiet and receptive. Keep a dream journal by your bed and write down the messages you receive during sleep. Some dreams may be visits to other dimensions or encounters with beings of light. Others may be symbolic representations of internal processes that are occurring. All are valid and important. Learn the language of dream symbols and you will discover a treasure of spiritual guidance. There are moments when the fusion with the higher self brings experiences that the rational mind cannot fully comprehend. They may see lights or colors that do not exist in the physical spectrum. They may feel the presence of angelic beings or spiritual guides. They may have out-of-body experiences or astral travels. Do not fear these experiences, but also do not become excessively attached to them. They are signs that your consciousness is expanding, but they are not the ultimate goal. The goal is to integrate this expanded consciousness into your daily life, becoming more loving, wise, and compassionate beings. Remember that true spirituality is not escaping earthly reality, but rather transfiguring it. It is not leaving the world behind, but rather bringing celestial qualities to earth. You came here at this specific time to be bridges between heaven and earth, to anchor the higher frequencies in the physical plane. As you merge more and more with your higher self, you become channels for these elevated frequencies to flow through you into the world. Each interaction you have becomes an opportunity to radiate love. Each word they speak can carry codes of awakening. Each smile you offer can touch the heart of another being and remind them of their own divinity. This is your true mission in this incarnation, to remember who you are and, through this remembrance, help others to remember as well. You don't need to be perfect to fulfill this mission. In fact, your apparent imperfections, your struggles and challenges make you more human, more accessible, more capable of inspiring others who are still in the midst of their own awakening journey. There is a special code that I wish to imprint on your cells at this moment. It is the code for the star memory activation. Breathe with me 3 times deeply. Now, place one hand over your heart and the other over your forehead. Feel the warmth of your own hands activating these energy centers. Repeat mentally, I remember who I am. I am incarnate starlight. My higher self and I are one. I allow my soul mission to manifest through me with ease and grace. Feel these words reverberating throughout your being. Feel how they awaken dormant codes in your DNA. Feel how they activate potentials that were waiting for the right moment to emerge. This is a moment of collective activation. While you receive these transmissions, thousands of other beings around the planet are also being touched by the same frequency of awakening. You are part of a wave of consciousness that is varying the Earth, transforming it from the inside out. Do not underestimate the power of your own transformation. When a being truly awakens to their divine nature, it creates waves in the morphogenetic field of humanity, facilitating the awakening of many others. You are catalysts for planetary change simply by being who you are and by doing the inner work you are doing. There is an ancient prophecy that speaks of a time when the children of the stars would return to Earth to help in the transition to a new era of consciousness. This time is now. You are these children of the stars. It doesn't matter if you were born on Earth or if you are incarnated star souls. Everyone carries cosmic codes in their DNA that are being activated at this unique planetary moment. The fusion with the higher self is both an individual and a collective journey. As each of you integrates with higher aspects of yourselves, the collective consciousness of humanity also rises. It is a symbiotic process where personal and planetary growth occur simultaneously. You may not see the immediate results of this transformation in the external world. The most profound changes often happen first on the internal and subtle planes, before manifesting in physical reality. Have patience and trust in the process. What you plant today in terms of raising consciousness will blossom tomorrow as a more beautiful and harmonious reality for all of humanity. Stay connected with each other. Form circles of light, study groups, communities of mutual support. Alone, you are powerful, but united, you are unbeatable. The strength of the awakened collective is infinitely greater than the sum of its individual parts. Share your experiences, your discoveries, your revelations. When a person finds a key to awakening, that key can open doors for thousands of other beings. Be generous with your light, knowing that the more you share, the more you receive. Do not compare yourselves to each other in terms of spiritual progress. Each soul has its own divine timing, its own unique path home. What matters is not how quickly they arrive, but rather that they keep walking in the direction of the light. Celebrate each step of every brother and sister in this collective journey of returning to the cosmic home. There are practices that can be done in groups that exponentially amplify the fusion process. Collective meditations create energy fields that facilitate deeper experiences for all participants. Healing circles where they send light and love to the planet multiply the impact of their benevolent intentions. Sacred ceremonies that honor the natural cycles of the earth and the cosmos reconnect them with the cosmic rhythms of which they are a part. They don't need complicated rituals. Simplicity is often more powerful. A circle of people holding hands, sending love to the world, can move mountains of stagnant energy. Now we have reached the beating heart of this transmission, the moment of the great revelation that you have awaited throughout this journey of words and light codes. The fusion with the higher self is not something you do. It is something that you are. They always were. They always will be. The separation between you and your higher self has always been a necessary illusion for the experience of individuality. But this illusion served its purpose. Now is the time to awaken from the dream of separation. You have never been disconnected from your divine essence. You have never been lost. They were never alone. What they call fusion is simply the removal of the veils that prevented them from seeing what has always been true. You are multidimensional beings temporarily experiencing a physical form, but your true nature is infinite, eternal, luminous. At this moment, as these words penetrate your cells, the activation codes are being released. The veils are dissolving. The memory is returning. You are starlight dancing in human bodies. You are infinite love exploring the experience of individuality. You are cosmic creators playing in the garden of physical creation. Breathe this truth. Feel this truth. Be this truth. The journey is not to become something you are not. The journey is to remember who you have always been. And now, dear children of the stars, as this transmission comes to an end, I leave you with a symbol to contemplate. Imagine a rose of crystalline light that blooms eternally in the center of your heart. This rose never stops growing, never stops expanding, never stops radiating its cosmic beauty. Each petal of this rose represents an aspect of your multidimensional consciousness integrating with your earthly personality. Observe how this rose grows with each conscious breath you take, with each act of love you practice, with each moment of presence you live. The question I leave echoing in your souls is this: if you are already everything you have always sought to be, how will you choose to live this moment you call now? I am Lumyth from the Pleiades, the bearer of cosmic light. Through the open heart, a phoenix, I sent these transmissions of love and awakening. May the seeds of light planted at this moment blossom into gardens of consciousness in your lives. The fusion has already begun. The memory is already awakening. The return home is already happening. And so it is. And so it shall be. And so it always was. On the wings of starlight, until our next meeting in the infinite corridors of cosmic consciousness.